Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Esoteric Ferret here. I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday. Sorry we're a little late getting the stream started. Also, I know yesterday during our stream, I said that I was going to be doing The Long Dark today. However, after my stream yesterday doing Hardspace, I wound up raiding another one streamer who was playing Hardspace. And it really occurred to me that the game's real fuzzy on a lot of the finer details, if you will, of exactly how this all breaks down. And like, especially like once you start getting into the geckos throw a whole bunch of new stuff at you that is just real hard to. Give me 1 second here. Just trying to get everything ready here. Okay. But yeah, it's real hard to get a hold of, like get a handle on and understand without without experiencing it and like just playing with it a while, and it takes time. So I wanted to kind of give a bit of an in-depth like breakdown of a gecko, and just explain like the processes for like a lot of the new things you run into. Might wind up we might wind up starting with a mackerel. It'll only take about 15 minutes or so, and then move up to the gecko, just to show the difference between the two. But we're going to get into this here. Just give me 1 moment. All right, so in order to do this, we're going to be going into my my open shift here, and we're going to go. We'll go ahead and do it in career. I got a lot of nice, good upgrades and whatnot. And it'll get me some progress on my open shift profile. Let's check here. Alrighty, so yeah, this one I'm a rank 9 on this one. I've managed to beat my debt down to the 786 million area. I've got a whole bunch of excess links tokens, but I think I've got all the upgrades I can afford at the moment. I don't have this one. But again, I can't afford it because, and I don't have this one again because I can't afford it. And I don't have this one again because I can't afford it. And I don't have, okay, so there's actually a lot more. There's actually several more upgrades there than I thought. But as you can see, I've increased everything. I really wish I hadn't bought that because it makes it tricky to use. So, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it, because I am so high tier. If we look at my certification here, you'll see all these are lit up, and in fact, we're not even going to get, we're not even going to get class 7 ships, are we? Fascinating. Anywho, but we've got class 6 ships here available. Again, I think I am gonna go ahead and start with a a low level with like a mackerel here, just to go through it and do it all up nice and good to show all of the basic principles that you learn pretty quickly, working with the mackerels, and then go into more in-depth stuff with the gecko, and just to show the differences and the different aspects. So we're gonna go ahead here, and we're doing this on OpenShift because when we go into the gecko's gonna take a hot minute. Check our thing here. Yes, we have a utility key. Great. Fantastic. Okay, so the way I generally go about this, I start with the exterior. We throw everything we can that's on the exterior into the garbage. I don't even bother separating these pieces because they just go with the rest of the side hole when you throw them in. Alright, so we got a plasma reactor, salvage power cell, nanocarbon, salvage metal, computer terminal, power junction box, and
airlock pressure levels increasing.
Okay, so I also disabled the oxygen drain just so we wouldn't have to worry about it. So the only time we have to worry about oxygen is when we smash our faceplate, which hopefully won't be. Oh hey, look at that, utility key. So that means we'll also have our utility key for the gecko that we go to next. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and shut off fuel to these puppies right off the bat. Bumping into shit. Okay, essentials taken care of there. Now, go ahead. Begin process pulling everything off this thing. Okay, that's all off. That's all off. Alright, I think that's actually everything. There's not that much to catch that, I guess. Cockpit. I believe the cockpit attached some stuff from. Not that, though. Ooh, that did a jump. Got it. Alright. I'd say that's probably pretty good.
Air pressure level decreasing. Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Right. Now, because I have the split saw upgrade, I can't necessarily just go full hog, go to town, cut everything to pieces route on this. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful at least until I get all the more dangerous stuff out. Once I've got it cut down a little bit, once we've cut down the stuff that I don't want to necessarily damage or lose, we can go ahead and just start cutting willy-nilly. But till then, oh, I did not detach that one. Now, obviously, based on the upgrades you have, what you're gonna be doing and how you're gonna be doing it is gonna vary slightly. So I'm actually gonna try my best to use the ability to cut through the nanocarbon as minimally as possible. Which pretty much means I'm not gonna be using this at all. Just that way, y'all get a good idea of because that's a real late. That's like one of the most recent upgrades I got on this account for this license. So yeah, it's pretty late stage. You're not gonna be doing that stuff right off the bat. You should be coming out. I cut you off.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
What the hell is going on here? Why is that sticking? What is happening? It's not just me, right? That's like super. It's like super glued in there or something. I don't know. I'll have to fiddle around with that. But we're gonna go ahead and yoink this bad boy out.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted.
Got that.
Credits transferred.
I don't even know why my fucking
Salvage
astronaut
secured.
character
Credits
dude
deposited.
person starts fucking hyperventilating when the reactor comes out. At this point, we're so experienced, we got this shit on lock, dude. We're cool as a cucumber.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
There we go.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Fire damage. Links recommends maintaining a safe distance from flammable items.
That was
Salvage
weird.
deposit accepted.
I don't know what the
Credits
heck that was.
transferred.
Did you guys see something? Because I sure shit didn't see it. Maybe now I can figure out why this stupid thing ain't. Did I not actually cut a cutaway that I should have cut? Nope. Just needed a little bit of a shove, I guess.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And when you get the higher levels of force on those tethers, they yank things real good. Now, I think I am going to go ahead and make some decent use.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded. Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Caution. Tether supplies running low.
Ah, shoot. That one's gonna take the... I forgot about the airlock. Damn it. Oh well. Normally, you
Valuable object
take that
processed.
one out and throw it down into the
Credits
barge.
deposited.
But I forgot to do that. So that didn't happen.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Ooh, frame's moving. Why is it moving?
Salvage
Why are you
deposit
moving?
accepted.
Why are you
Credits
moving so much?
transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
tethers. Get yourself over to the kiosk to buy some more.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
We're gonna salvage those too. Both sides.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Go.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
That's all the work orders
Salvage
complete,
deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
but still ain't
Work
done.
order is complete.
Got it. Okay, good.
Salvage
Got it.
secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, this is taking a little longer than I thought, but it did take me a little while to readapt to the older
Salvage
controls.
deposit accepted.
Or not the
Credits
older controls, but
transferred.
just the. It's been a while since I played on this account, so like just getting used to the way the upgrades work, it was tricky. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and use this spell here, purely for the fact that this glass is worth a lot, and it also makes getting the nanocarbon off this cockpit so much easier. So much easier. Because
Material deposited.
normally, in order to get that nanocarbon, you'd have to go through a whole mess of stuff, cutting all this stuff up. But I think, go ahead and take a look. Ooh, no, that's cut level 3 nanocarbon. But that is cut level 2. So, we can just take a cut right there. Should separate it. If not, just come down here. something, though. Got a little slice of something.
Processing valuable object.
A little slice of something right
Credits
off the top.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Okay, there we go.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Right there. Should be the trick. Yep. Got it. Now it's still attached to
Warning.
something.
Fuel levels are low. Fuel supplies are available for purchase at the Master Jack.
I'll have to go to the top of the page. Okay, I'll probably need to.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
That thing anyway. Now, most of the rest of this is aluminum. Except for these nanocarbon things here. If you want to try and save all that nanocarbon, you can, but it takes a hell of a lot more time. We're gonna have to go back to the Master Jack, both to fill up on fuel and get another pack of tethers. Because I'm gonna need a few more just to finish this up.
Welcome to Megatron 9000.
Fuel
Thank you for your
and
purchase.
tethers.
Have a nice day.
So, I'm trying to think here. Would I get more out of the amount of aluminum? No, we're gonna go for the nanocarbon. This one though is predominantly aluminum, so there's little chunks of nanocarbon here and there, but they're not very. Nah, they cut level 3. Damn.
Object
And we'll watch that
Credits
mass
deposited.
that mass meter just up at the top center there just go zoop. Down to practically nothing. Honestly, I don't think there is anything actually. All that's left is tiny little floating pieces of dirt. And that is that. That is a whole buffalo disassemble on a mackerel. Obviously, there's slight variations based on what type of mackerel it is, but and look at that. I got 3.2 million out of that thing. It was probably worth about 3.6. So, good work. So I made way more than I'm spending per shift. And this is, you can see this is significantly lower. A combination of the fact that a lot of the things that I had to pay rentals on, I've purchased, and the fact that I've beaten down my debt enough that this is about almost, it's about 12k less than it used to be. So, alright, we got data recovery. glow pink? Why we doing day glow pink? Pink. Fascinating. All right. Anywho, let's see here. Do I by chance have enough? Nope. But yeah. So I own my suit. I own my helmet. I own my scanner. I own my thrusters, and I own my grapple. Literally the only thing I don't own is my laser cutter, but I need rank 10 to unlock that. And to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of saving up my Lynx tokens in general so that I can hit that 19,000 mark right about the time I hit rank 10, so I can pretty much buy it right out the gate. Though at the rate this goes, I might be able to get all the upgrades and then some. So, yeah, because we gotta do 175 work order objectives, 150 electrical, 150 mechanical, 100,000 kilograms of metal, and then make 120 credits off of ships. So, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a gecko here. Okay, sound of the game might be a tiny bit too loud compared to my voice. Okay, good to know, good to know. Let me go ahead and see if I can fix that. Is that a thing I can fix from here? Yeah, it doesn't. Let's go ahead and hit the quit button there, hit options. Go down to audio, and we'll kick this down to 40. Okay, let's see here. Is that better? We'll load back in here and try to take a look here. Hopefully this is a little bit better. Kind of annoying that there's not a way to access the options from here, but you know, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a I can't hit escape here to open up like the pause menu that I'd normally be able to get out in the bay. That's fascinating. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and load up a gecko here. Let's see here, station hopper. No, we need electrical. Station hoppers are good on the electrical. That's definitely good. That's definitely for sure. Cargo. Let's go for this one. Hopefully that adjustment helped the. Hopefully that adjustment helped. Looks like Cirilla Silver Misty doesn't look like they're in the chat anymore, but you know. Hopefully the rest of you aren't having too much of a problem with that. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and whoa. I always forget that those things are so much heavier than I am. I can't really.
Salvage secured.
Okay,
Credits deposited.
so now, typically speaking, that's the only thing on the exterior you have to worry about. Generally speaking, only the stargazers have more than one or two things on the outside. Oh, well, and then there's the salvage runners. The salvage runners have several different mechanical arms, and that can be a pest.
Airlock pressure levels dropping. Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and go through this one bit at a time. Now let's look at our work orders. We've got salvage data drive, about to do that. Power generator, ECU, electrical, 39 electrical items it wants me to salvage off this. 15 storage items, bunch of nanocarbon, bunch of metal, 3 fuses, bunch of fuel, bunch of coolant, 30 computer terminals. Oh, that's nice, because computer terminals are electrical, so they'll count for both there. Oh, the sensor array counted as electrical. And 5 atmosphere regulators. Okay, so I need to be real careful with those atmosphere regulators, because they are... Oh, cool. This section here isn't pressurized. Still a little unclear how you're supposed to... That's an effect I didn't really notice before. There's a haze in the air when it's pressurized. I have to explosively decompress
Your pressure
that.
level decreasing.
It doesn't wreck anything. Seems good.
Your pressure level decreasing.
Okay, looking good, looking good. Okay, we still got the airlocks, which are pressurized, and the reactor room. Oh, it's the reactor room, man.
Your pressure level decreasing.
Okay. Go ahead and get that done. Toot sweet. And just to reduce the risk of further decompression, we're going to go ahead and...
Your lock pressure levels dropping.
Unexpected decompression of something, we're going to go ahead and...
Your lock pressure levels dropping.
Now, I noticed a while back that there's a bit of a glitch with these ones sometimes, where this little section, specifically for some reason on this side of the ship, this little section right here, where the standard airlock is, somehow, for some reason, registers as a separate room from this one, and that there's a airtight seal between the two, so it pressurizes separately from this one. So you can potentially have that door open, this door open, and this here is pressurized, or even this here is pressurized, but that's not, and that door's open. So you can literally just have a straight shot through, even though it's pressurized. Doesn't seem to have happened this time, but it can be a bit weird. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna handle this? Okay, so this is our doorway up into the crawl spaces. I think we're gonna go ahead and start. Well, we're gonna definitely start by getting rid of skid. Let's start with these. This is a nice, good, simple thing to start with. These are fuses. They are a little trick. Oh wow, I must have timed that just perfectly. I was gonna explain them. I just accidentally hit the key. Didn't want to do that quite yet. We'll find a couple because there's always 3 of them, which means we need to salvage all 3 of these in order to fulfill that work requirement. So you'll see how they're blinking red. You don't want to hit the button when they're blinking red. So white, and you press the button. And it is not linked to the animation, so you don't need to time it properly so that you're animating the turn of the thing when it's white. You need to time it so that you press the button when it's white, and then it will safely detach the fuses. If you fail to hit the timing correctly, it will zap you, and it will hurt. And with every single one that you do, it will the others will speed up. The tempo of the light blinking will speed up. Oh, well, that was unexpected. I was not expecting that to just wiggle its way out. Wait, can you stop spinning, please? Please to be stopping that. I would like to separate you from your airlock. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use this. These suckers are worth tapping, because specifically the airlock consoles. I don't know why there's a difference. Got it. Okay. I don't know why there's a difference, but the airlock consoles as opposed to the door consoles are worth a lot more for some reason. And it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Oh yeah, that's the little handles, the aluminum handle structures. So I make a point of trying. I forget a lot of times, but I make a point to try and salvage as many of the consoles as possible, especially the airlock ones, though, because they are worth it, very worth it. Because I think each one of them's worth like, I want to say like 35K, something like that. I don't know. Oh, I was about to check that. The processor. That's not where that goes. So
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Also, pulling out those fuses. That is step number 1 of the full process of taking out the reactor. It is also the first thing you want to do before you take out this. If you take this out before you take the fuses out, it'll damage this and make it easier for it to go kablooey on you in electrical explosion. And that is taking out the fuses. I should technically say taking out the power generator is step 1 of the reactor removal process. But that has a preceding step to it, which is to take out the fuses. You don't necessarily need to, because it doesn't affect the value of it. Just know that if you don't, it's going to be more damage, and you're going to have less time to get into the barge before it starts doing unpleasant things. We got that one separated. Oh, you don't want to wiggle yourself free? I see how it is. But yeah, it's definitely the airlock consoles are definitely worth it, especially on the geckos. Because like the mackerels, there's only 3 of them, and you know they might be worth a decent amount, but times 3 it doesn't really stack up that much. But because of the way the airlocks and the geckos are designed, you actually have a significantly larger number per airlock, because you have one on the inside of the ship, one on the inside of the airlock, one in the airlock tube, and then one on the outside of the airlock, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. It's just one extra. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just one extra per. Yeah, it is just one extra per. But still, that, especially when you get one like this that has 2 airlocks, that's a total of 8, which is 5 more than your typical mackerel has. And 8 times like 35K is quite significant. Am I having trouble having that? There we go. Got it. Now go ahead and pull this over. We're not doing like the big mainstream like hauling, so I'm not too worried about
Processing valuable objects.
doing it rapidly and like using tethers. I'd rather save them for when I go to disassemble the main hull in general, which, you know, I'm working on periodically. That's part of what like, this is part of why it's hard to believe that you'd be able to do major amounts of cut down on a gecko in a single shift. Because, like, we're 12 minutes into this one, and I've only just gotten 2 airlocks done, basically, and pulled some fuses. Which means most of the outer hull is on, which means I can't get to any of the nice juicy insides, and, you know, the most profitable bits of it. So, like, you're absolutely gonna have to be spending 6 to 10 shifts on a single gecko. Especially, I mean, if you're anything like me, where you get stressed under time pressure, you wind up flailing a lot, and, like, you waste time being like, what do I do? I'm on the clock, rush, run around, do 20 things at once. Yeah, it never works out, because you wind up getting less done. But it is, you know, so it does definitely attribute to, oh, there's a spatial usage of time there, simply because of the time pressure. Gotta be careful here because the coolant line is here. I'll explain that in a few moments here once I get the shell off. Once I get the outer hull off, I'll start going into some of the details of the reactor and everything. So many cut points on this, and you gotta cut every single one of them for everything to come away. I mean, I could go outside right now and start taking individual pieces off, but I prefer to do all the cutting, and then I can do all the hauling. It just makes it easier. It really does. Take a look at, oh, nope, we got a cut point down there. Is that a cut point? Oh yeah, we got a couple of cut points in there. Oh, we gotta get the nacelles. I forgot about the nacelles. We gotta get those. Let's get those real quick. After we get the cut points, we're gonna get those nacelles. Well, awesome. Just want to make sure I've like I was saying yesterday, I had that stream of Satisfactory that ran into a glitch, and it wound up being split into 2 parts. One being like super terms, like in stream terms, really small. But so I think that's everything. I think that's all of the cuts. Oh wait, no, we got a cut. We got a couple of cuts in the middle of this keel here. shit to the processor. That reminds me. A tool that you will find extremely
Valuable
helpful.
object processed.
Oh,
Credits
that's
deposited.
spinning hard. Oh, okay, good. A tool you will find extremely helpful. Down at the bottom, just above your O2 meter, there are several things you will see. There is the name of the object you're looking at and what it's made out of. So it'll be like panel aluminum, panel nanocarbon, keel titanium. Let's see here, power generator. Doesn't give you what it's made out of because that's just what it is. It's just a power generator. On the other side of that, right next to that, it'll tell you where that item goes for you to properly salvage it. What do we got? We got a thing that was popping up. Oh, it's just a fucking goddamn Evelyn. You're a dumbass. Anyway. So what was I saying? Oh, yes, the things. So you can see I'm looking at the power generator. It says it goes in the barge. I look at this keel. It goes in the processor. I look at this aluminum panel. It goes in the furnace. That's how you identify where things go, and eventually you just learn it and you don't even need to look. The next piece of information is very important. It's on the other side. Wait a second. Hang on. I think I may have skipped over an important piece of information that I need to... I did, because I didn't notice it until just now. Except no, still not quite 100% sure. So the color that bar is underneath the name of the item you're looking at indicates. I thought it indicated. I honestly don't know what it indicates because I tried looking at like something else and something that wasn't a thing, and it didn't. All right, yeah, I'm not 100% sure then. No, because I can't rip that off. No. All right, yeah, but I can rip that off. But okay, yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know what that blue bar is. It's got apparently two different tones that it is. It's either dark blue or light blue. I thought at first that it was the panel heavy, panel light thing because like aiming at the nanocarbon, it's dark blue. Aiming at the aluminum, it's light blue. And when you look in the scanner, dark blue, light blue. Except that when you aim at this nanocarbon, which is structural, it's not orange. So yeah, and then you aim at this keel, which is structural, and it's not orange. So I don't know what that one is. However, on the other side of the bar, you have you have the weight of the object you're looking at. This is important, very important, because it can help you determine whether or not you've separated something. Because watch, because it is two different weights. You'll notice it's two different weights. One of them is almost always smaller than the other one. See? And then we have this one right here where it is much, much larger. That's because that's the main mass of the ship. That is the ship itself. This helps tell you if you've separated something from the ship and can help you figure out if you have more work to do. Because if you have not, then you will see that big ass number. And if you have, you will see a smaller number. Now, don't necessarily assume that just because the numbers aren't equal doesn't mean you haven't separated them, because this section is totally separated, but it's made up of several pieces. This piece here is 425 kilograms, but this piece here is 200 kilograms. This this piece here is, well, I can't
Warning.
see it.
Fuel levels are low.
It's also 200 kilograms. Basically, the point is, it can really help inform you when you've gotten something cleared away from the rest of the ship. And that is just information gold, honestly. Like, you can't really overstate how useful that is. We're gonna be doing a little bit of work here. Is it that way? Did that do the thing? It did not. Why did that not do the thing? It's no longer attached. Do I really need to actually do it on the aluminum itself? Apparently I do. So, sometimes on the geckos you'll get
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
rude. You'll get random panels that are made of aluminum rather than anything else, rather than the normal. What thing that was over how much fucking nanocarbon? Where? That was aluminum. What? What? Huh? What? I'm very confused. Something else must have happened, because that was 100% aluminum. Totally aluminum that I just tossed in there. Trying to get this pulled away. In there. It's about to get sucked into the fucking furnace.
Processing valuable object. Credits
That did the trick?
awarded.
Yeah. Did the trick. Go over there. You go over there. Burning through my tethers at a prodigious rate, but you know, it's whatever. Ooh, that's a bad place for you to be. Get your butt into the barge. You gotta get those puppies into the barge ASAP. Oh.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Strike panel. Oh, right, because I sent it in there. You'll very quickly learn that you want to keep a pretty severe eye
Deposit
on
not accepted.
any of that shit that pops up on the left that's red, because it can alert you to horrible things that are happening. I've heard that there's some times when people load in, and like right off the bat, something gets marked as destroyed. I actually had that happen to me once. It was a forklift, actually. I forgot about that until I mentioned it. Okay, stop.
Valuable object processed.
God
Credits
damn, dude.
deposited.
Okay.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
Okay, in here, make sure there's not, and there is. That's important because we have a coolant objective. If we destroy it, we could potentially fail it.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Oh yes, we actually have one cut point left here, so I can
Salvage
show
secured.
you
Credits
that
deposited.
last category for the structural analysis, the structural scanner, cut points. They show up as yellow. Makes them nice and easy to see. So, nice and easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just go ahead and get those two up together. Should be enough to yank it in there, especially especially once the tractor on the processor gets a hold of that first one. Just as long as it doesn't snap the tether by yanking it too far.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Okay, so we're making progress. About to run out of fuel here, but I'm trying to use up all my tethers before I head to the fuel shop. Oh, I guess I'm doing that now.
Looks like you used your last tether. Head on over to the kiosk if you need more. Welcome to Vintatron 9000. Thank you for your
Tethers restored.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited. Object not accepted.
Oh, right,
Please
yeah.
revisit your training.
I was like, what? Why did that happen? And I remembered there was just some aluminum on that panel that I sent in, on that whole piece that I sent in.
Processing valuable.
It's really not that big of a deal because
Credits
aluminum
awarded.
is even less valuable than nanocarbon and comes in much lighter quantities for a given size of panel. So it's really not that big a deal. Especially considering just the amount of extra effort and time I have to spend on separating it versus how much I get. Oh no, that
Valuable
was
object
what
processed.
the hell was that?
Credits deposited. Deposit not accepted.
Please don't get caught. Thank you. Yep, let's move fast enough to get snagged in the field. But yeah, that's something that's definitely very important to learn very early on, is that the furnace and the processor have a suction to them. Once you pass a certain point, it starts kicking in right around the yellow hazard warnings, but it kind of becomes a point of no return once you go past that red line. And I do mean that literally, as in literally if you go past that red line, you're not getting out. I have been able to get out once I was past the red line. I was actually stuck, I think it was on the furnace, I was stuck in like that corner right there, because the suction was pulling me directly in, rather than in towards the opening, it was pulling me just straight back, so I was getting pinned against it. I managed to get away from it, simply by virtue of the fact that the tether, the grapple tool, if you grapple something big and massive, like say a Jax, and reel yourself in, you can get yourself going way faster than literally anything else in the game can get you going. And do it a lot faster than anything else in the game can do it. And that was the only reason I was able to save myself from absolute death. And that is it's tricky to make that happen under the best of circumstances. Trying to do it while desperately avoiding being pulled into the burning / shredding maw of a furnace / processor is, difficult, to say the least. It's difficult. We'll just put it at that. Leave it at that, shall we? that one away? I swear I cut all 4 of them away, but I guess maybe not. I must have done something.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Trying to think here. Back to what I was saying about that information right above your O2 bar. The last little bit about that color of the bar underneath the weight is also important because it will leave it change. Oh well, you have to have your grapple tool equipped, I think. Hang on, give me a second here. Something that's changing more there. I swear I keep seeing it. Switch to. Alright, now I'm confused. That is a teeny tiny little thing. Oh, it's the things that come off the fuses. Yeah, see on that one it's green. I'm trying to find something else. Okay, yeah. So it's green. Ruined the process. Trying to find another good example here. Ah, here we go. This one's yellow. You can see this one's yellow. I don't know for 100% certainty, but I'm reasonably confident that's the ability of your tether to move it. The greener it is, the easier your tether can move. Your grapple can move it. The redder it is, the harder it is. So, if it's like pure red, you can't really move it at all. As you can see. Tethers might be a different question, might be a different thing because they're significantly more powerful, but your grapple will not be able to do it with its push or its thing. Although I don't know if the push is necessarily true. Because I believe the push can exert more force than the thing. So I believe that's what that is. Okay, so you can see that this one is kind of orangish, has an orangish color, so it's going to be hard for me to move with my thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and yoink it down in there with my tethers. 2 tethers well spent. Pretty much shredded this entire hull. Yeah, we've made a dent in this thing, this puppy. But yeah, you can definitely see what I mean about how long it takes, because we're 35 minutes in and we've just now gotten the majority of the shell off. And like we haven't even really touched the interior at all. But we're about to, because
salvage secured. Account
what
credit
I'm gonna
applied.
do is I'm going to use my tried and true standard method of gaining easy access to the interior of a ship. And that is, I stinger all these little gaps here and there, all these little bars in between. And that includes the little tiny squares between which will work. It's a pain in the butt. It's a lot easier when you have a highly upgraded laser cutter, because you can do it for longer periods of time, and then when you do have to stop, you don't have to wait as long to go again. And then you can also do it for longer ranges, so you don't have to move as much. Okay, so now we've done them all, right? Oh, nope, I think I missed a corner. Yep, I missed a corner. part of that could be some materials that are some like items that are stuck to the ceiling or the floor, which is probably the case because they might be stuck to that panel as well as another panel, and that's probably what the issue is. Okay, so it's not that one. That's probably part of it. Not that one. Yep, that's got it. See? There we go. And now, these chairs, you just go ahead and detach them. Yeah. Put that there. Then, watch this.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Nope. Come back here. Nice try. There's one more, I think.
Salvage
Get away.
secured.
Probably
Credits
not that
deposited.
direction. Oh no. Yeah, there it is. There we go. That's a bunch of furniture.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits
Do we
transferred.
have a furniture objective anywhere? Do we have one in our certification? No, we don't. Electrical and mechanical, those are our ones. And now we have a nice, easy access into the belly of the ship, which will make our future jobs a lot easier. And it was relatively painless. No perfectly lining up the split saw and trying to precisely cut it just the right way. No trying to figure out where the damn thing's still connected. Nope. You just
Salvage secured.
cut those beams out.
Credits deposited.
You lose a minimal amount of material taking each of those bars out. So ultimately, you probably wind up losing less that way than with several failed attempts to cut. Because yeah, that bar is like 47 kilograms. Yeah, 47 kilograms for that bar. And then the cubes are like the pins. They're tiny. They're teeny tiny. I think they're like a kilogram maybe. Let's see if I can find some here real quick. There we go, junction. 3 kilograms. 3 kilograms. And just, you know, that amount of time you save by just being able to say, well, I know where I want my hole, and it's right here. I know exactly where I need to aim, and
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
if you get them all, and it doesn't come free, if you think you've gotten them all and it doesn't come free, it either means you haven't actually gotten them all, or it means that there's something adhered, that there's an item adhered to it that is also adhered to another panel that you did not release. And that will affect that. So, that's that.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Yeah, those consoles, airlock consoles, are also especially vital for us right now because they are mechanical items, and we have a pretty hefty mechanical requirement for our goal, for our certification goal. I think we had a mechanical requirement in our work orders, but I think we may have already finished it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
I believe the fuses count as mechanical. Oh no, I think they count as electrical actually.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I seem to recall that they're mechanical, and I was very confused by that because it's like they're fuses, they should be electrical. Like, that's literally what they're for.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
But yeah, these right here are why these ships are fantastic sources of electrical components, because there's, in this chamber alone, there's
Salvage
like
secured.
20 of these suckers,
Credits deposited.
and that just, it makes for fantastic. You that one.
Salvage secured. Account
Yeah, that's the great thing about the scanner, is that even when it's out of range, you can generally see the items of the ship because they're shaded slightly differently. So it makes it easier to spot an errant piece of salvage. Excuse me. Makes it easier to spot an errant piece of salvage.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits
than
transferred.
one might think. But yeah. Yeah, I love doing this stuff.
Salvage
Like just
secured.
showing people
Credits
how games
deposited.
work and like the detailed mechanical ins and outs of them, and you know, showing them the things that the game doesn't necessarily show you.
Salvage
You just
deposit
kind of have to
accepted.
pick them up through
Credits transferred.
experience and inference and all that. It's a lot of fun to just provide that, you know, provide that information that somebody might be lacking. I'm gonna take a break from salvaging computer terminals there. And we're gonna go. We're gonna go get those fuel tanks out before something shifts and explodes everything. Oh, right. I just thought of something else I need to explain. So there's a lot of these items that when you cursor over them, a bunch of pips appear. Those pips are essentially its hit points. That's how durable it is. The like yellowish ones are safe ones to lose. You can lose those and you'll be fine.
Salvage
Once you
secured.
start losing red ones, bad things are going to start happening. In the case of fuel tanks, it'll start leaking and or explode. In the case of thrusters, they'll start
Salvage deposit accepted.
they start
Credits
sparking
transferred.
or leaking fuel or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But it once they're into that stage, they start essentially melting down, and they'll eventually just go completely in a very spectacular fashion. And there's a lot of things that have it. You can actually see a couple of items here. They're, you know, the cells have it, the fuel tanks have it, coolant tanks have it, power cells have it. I'm trying to think what else has it. Power generator has it. Trying to think what else here.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
The reactor obviously has it, but that's a bit of a special case, and we'll come to that later. And yeah, so, and in the cases of some of them, oh yeah, like computer terminals and wall terminals and whatnot, you know, they have very little there, and the bad stuff that starts happening for them is they start doing electrical sparks, which can electrocute you, electrify surfaces, that can ignite a fire if the sparks hit something that's flammable, which could be a lot of things. Salt crates are flammable, the food packs are flammable, obviously, you know, any fuel that's floating around is flammable. Sometimes I think the sparks can even hit like fuel tanks and cause them to go kablooey. They can hit other electronics and cause them to take damage, and thereby it can start a chain reaction. They can hit power cells and do the same thing, hit power generators. So you've got to be careful of them. You don't want to just smash them around. Just about anything that has those pips you want to be careful with, because there will be a downside if they take too much damage. There will be a problem. You will run into problems. of...
Credits transferred.
Yes, you see, seeds don't have them. Now, that's not to say you can't destroy a seed. You absolutely can. If you smash it against something hard enough, it will turn into scrap, and you'll have to throw it in the furnace if you want to get anything for it. The problem there is, the issue there is not that it doesn't give you an indicator, it's that there's no negative effects if it gets damaged, other than the fact that you just lost that salvage. All the things that have pips are things that... All the things that have pips are things that, if they are not treated carefully and they get damaged and banked up,
Secured. Credits
bad
deposited.
things will occur. I don't know if that's necessarily the case with soft crates. I don't know that anything bad happens with crates. I don't know if anything bad can happen with the crates. I'm not sure on that,
Deposit accepted.
honestly.
Credits transferred.
But yeah. So, let's see here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, so I think I'm going to... No. We're not gonna do that. Not just yet. We're not quite ready for that. That's big leagues stuff right now for us right now. Pull this away, a bit further away from the ship as a whole. It's big and heavy, so it's gonna move quite ponderously.
Salvage secured. Account credit
Yeah,
applied.
you see how that did that? Yeah, see, that one broke off. Ah, damn it, I zapped myself.
Note that excess electrical damage has been found to negatively impact long-term job satisfaction.
So, those wall terminals are real fucking delicate. You gotta give them the lightest touch, and I
Caution.
just did
Tether supplies are low.
do that for it. Now I'm going to try to do something here that I've not really ever tried before. I'm just trying to pull this whole thing forward somewhat. And if I stack enough tethers, I should be able to make it happen. I don't have very many.
Get yourself over to the kiosk to buy some
A
more.
little bit more fuel anyway, so... I do hope that at some point something they're gonna add is like a
Tethers restored.
velocity measuring thing. Something that can just measure whether or not something is moving. Because sometimes it's really hard to tell, is it moving really slowly or am I getting nowhere with this? It is moving. It is moving. It's moving like millimetrically, but it's moving. I'm gonna burn a lot of tethers to do it, but it'll be worth it. Simply for the cool factor, honestly. A lot of fucking tethers. You know, they say that with enough tethers, you should be able to move just about anything. Yeah, that's not budging. That's not budging at all, is it? They say that with enough tethers you should be able to move anything, but I have found that there are some things that just, it doesn't matter how many tethers you use, they will not move. And it's typically these larger items, in the 10, 20, 30, 40k range, kilogram range. Okay, I was trying to get this taken care of so that we could do the thing. Alright, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this back. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Too far.
Caution. Tether supplies running low.
Yeah, I know. It's because I was a dumb. Burned a shit ton of tethers trying to do a dumb. Okay. That's good enough. That's good enough, especially for my purposes. We're gonna go ahead and these on out. Get those thrusters secured.
Salvage secured.
Worth a pretty penny.
Credits
The class 2
deposited.
thrusters are worth a very pretty penny. Plus I think yes. No, not. They are, however, oh shit. Okay. They are, however, I believe they're
Salvage secured.
mechanical.
Account credit applied.
Yes, they are mechanical. So they count towards, they'll count towards our mechanical goals. Which we don't have a work order that's mechanical, but we do have quota for our next certification goal. Our last certification goal, I'm pointing back.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Alright, make sure I got all the fuel cans. I did not. There's one more left here. Something that I have found to be, that was almost disastrous. I almost threw that right into the fucking reactor. That would have been so bad in so many ways. Okay.
Salvage secured.
Something that
Credits
I've found
deposited.
to that I've kind of realized is like, you know, it makes no sense to do that. The thruster caps on the geckos, not the mackerels, but on the geckos, it makes no sense to remove the thruster caps separately because they go in the processor just right along with all the nanocarbon that they're attached to. So you just haul the whole thing into the processor and let it do the work for you. It makes no sense to remove them. It makes no sense to remove them. In the case of the mackerel, you kind of have to remove them because getting the thruster out any other way is nigh on
Credits
impossible.
transferred.
But I suppose once you've got
Salvage secured.
the
Account credit applied.
upgrade for the split saw, you could probably cut away an opening in like the top or the bottom to excuse me. You could try and cut away an opening in the top or the bottom to get at it that way, but honestly that's a lot more, sure sounds like a lot more work than just
Credits deposited.
yanking it off and tossing it in the processor. Okay, now we're going to begin the process for the reactor. Now, when I was talking about those pips on everything, that is essential. Understanding that system is somewhat essential for reactors. For trying to do reactors. So give me 1 second here. 'Cause I want to explain what I'm doing here. What I am doing is I'm pulling off all these panels because this thing is not the reactor. That is the reactor. It's all glowy and purple. I think that's what confuses a lot of people right off the bat, is that it's not what you see is right off the bat isn't the reactor. What's the reactor itself is on the inside of that. It's in like a little octagonal box. And now with that exposed, we can get at the reactor. We are, however, not going to do that yet,
Credits transferred.
because it is essential to understand the process of how this works. On a mackerel, you just rip the reactor right out and send it into the thing. There's nothing you need to do. It's super simple. This, there's a lot more prep work than just simply removing the casing around it. Because every Gecko class ship has both a power generator and an ECU, which I believe is an environment control unit, I think? Environmental control unit, I think? If we look at structural, yeah. ECU, environmental control unit. Structural pieces of the environmental control unit. So, the environmental control unit is, you might have noticed, if you go to systems, you might have noticed it's got some tiny little coolant tanks in it, coolant canisters in it, and it is connected to this back wall. Hang on, get my butt out of here. And that back wall is this wall right here, through which this pipe comes out, and you'll notice this pipe goes right into here, which is the reactor. So, from that, you're able to easily see that the coolant, the ECU provides the coolant for the reactor. So shutting it down means that it no longer has that coolant. So it will start the meltdown process for the reactor. The power generator is another such thing that is connected to the reactor, but less directly than the ECU is. Removing this will not start the reactor meltdown. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. And you can see, it doesn't do anything. Easy peasy. Just comes right off. It's not warning me of the reactor impending meltdown or anything. And we got that, and that was a work order too. So that worked out. We also have a work order to salvage the ECU as well, so we'll need to take care of that, but we need to take care of that anyway to get it to do the reactor. Because we are now ready to do that. We are ready to do everything. We are ready to do the last thing we need to do in order to salvage the reactor. Just like before, when the panel below, I'm going to go ahead and zap these seams. Gives me easy access to this room while also being able to easily and quickly get outside. And you will note that part of what I did to prep for this was I got rid of all of the shit that could potentially explode on me. Because if I accidentally have the reactor go critical, I don't want to do any more damage than it absolutely has to. Now, the ECU is a little unclear how you're supposed to go about it at first. However, a combination of looking at the systems and seeing that there's an interior to it. So that is a fascinating console. That is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to take a key? Well, I'm gonna have to try that. I didn't have a second key on me, otherwise I would have tried it. I would have probably have tried it. The reason I can't do it now is because the power's off. That's why the screen's dead. You'll see that. It's because we took the power generator out. So you definitely want to leave the power generator to one of the last things you do. You want to make sure that you're absolutely done using any form of power before you do that. Because once you take it out, the power's gone. But yeah, that front panel on the front of that just comes right off, and then within you will see 3 of these. Now, what I find amusing is that you can actually fit inside this little area. Like, you just fit in it. Well, I may have gotten myself stuck. And then you just pick them up by hand. You rip them off, and then they're pickups. And now, you will see, we've got an exclamation point, and on the side here, we've gotten a thing that started to appear. That is the reactor.
Reactor meltdown triggered. Action urgently required.
Means that we have a limited amount of time to get this done in. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. Thought I was about to go into the fucking furnace. And we got it. Now.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
There is no reason that you need to do everything I just did to prep for that. That is just simply the safest way to do it. Because if you do not remove the power generator and you do not safely flush the coolant system by removing those coolant canisters and you just yank the reactor out, it will have significantly fewer pips than it started with for me. Because you could see, well, you can't see it anymore. Well, that's a shame. I wish it would show. But it had a few. It had quite a few. It was like 8 yellow pips and like 5 red ones. And for each one of those 2 things you do, it adds more to it. It gives it more integrity, essentially. It makes it tougher, harder for it to be destroyed. Or harder for, like, it takes longer for it to melt down. And then that's the reason that you take the fuses out first. Because the fuses have a similar reaction to the power generator that the power generator has to the reactor. If you don't take the fuses out before you take it out, before you take the power generator out, the power generator will be damaged and it will have less integrity. It'll be more likely to zap things around it, cause problems, etc. It will also cause all the fuses to automatically eject, which can potentially lead to you losing them because they are tiny and they do tend to shoot out pretty far. I've caught, like, this one up here, I've caught it being like almost all the way up near this jack here before. I've lost some of them into like the processor from the side when they eject from the side. I've lost some of them into the processor before. It can be bad. It can be real bad. Anywho, now that we've gotten that done, a little trick just to get the most out of it, this little computer terminal, you can yank it off. Once you do, it goes in the barge, just like every other computer terminal. And despite the fact that it is smaller and tinier and all personal computer size, it counts as a computer terminal for any work orders you have. And then the last thing we have to do is separate it, and then it's a heavy motherfucker, so it's gonna take a little bit. And you just yank it in. away. There we go. Yep, that's got it. And then that'll give us the ECU. It took me for frickin' ever to figure out how to get that off, but I finally figured just stingering that little section of coolant pipe between this big ring thing and the ECU. Just stinger mount it, just hit it with the stinger head mount, and it comes right off. Super easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and you're done. Now, that is pretty much all of the more complex shit in here. Trying to think about if there's anything I've had in here that's been a bit of a problem for me. That I can think of. Nothing specifically. There's nothing I can think of specifically. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I do, however... Oh, we gotta salvage some storage here, so... We're salvage 2. And the cockpits of these ones are nice and large. Have nice, large numbers of storage. I think it's like 16 of them, or something. Maybe 12? I don't remember. Can't remember if it's 3 or 4 per one.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
12 total. So these will get us most of the way there. Just these ones here. Thanks to the other 2 storages, which is probably hard or soft crates.
Accepted. Credits transferred.
Those are the most common types of storage that you'll find. Apart from these storage bins, it's the hard and soft crates.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I'm here just brained myself with that storage crate.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured.
The atmosphere
Credits
regulator
deposited.
2. I need a total of 5 of those. I'm pretty sure there's 5 in the entire ship. So if I destroy even one of them, I will fail that mission. I will fail that work order. Alrighty, so that's that. We need 2 more storage items. Fortunately, we have plenty. I already got that one. I got that one too. What else would I have? Atmosphere regulator. Where else would there be atmosphere regulators in here? Oh, I think there's an atmosphere regulator in here. Thought that was gonna fucking just get smashed before it registered. I think. Hang on. I think I know where it is. Objects. It's right there. I always forget there's one there. But yeah, it's literally these are the only 5 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one a little closer because it really sucked to get this close to it and miss it because it did a dumb. There we go. Got that taken care of. We need another 12 computer terminals, shit ton more metal, only a tidbit more, only a tad bit more, what you call it, nanocarb. 2 more storage, and 10 more electrical. This is where the scanner comes in handy, because at this point, I'm kind of like, I don't know where else I got electrical shit in here. So, we go to objects, or no, systems. Go to systems. Everything green, it's electrical. So, yeah, that makes sense. I forgot to do these ones. It makes perfect sense now. So, we start by taking out the battery pack. Throw that down into the barge. Make sure it works. Yep, that worked. You can watch your work orders for those tiny objects that are hard to see once they get too far away from you. You can just watch your work orders if it's something that you've got a work order for, to see if that personal terminal on it, on top of it, or thank you. I will take that. Nope, it's just a computer terminal.
Salvage
Got it.
secured. Account credit
That'll also
applied.
count as an actual computer terminal. So will this. Something to be aware of, just in case you guys aren't, when you get these big ships and you start getting a lot of stuff in here,
Credits transferred.
aim the stuff you send down here towards emptier sections, because you can kind of see the grids. So if I send something at that section, it's not gonna go. I gotta send it like there if I want it to go in. So you'll wind up dealing with it like ricocheting around, which can wind up leaving it, getting it destroyed, and then you can fail tasks that way, and fail work orders that way. So like this one, for example, I'm gonna send it there, and it gets claimed instantly. Perfect.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Let's see here.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Got it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Let's see here. Now, I still got several electrical pieces I need to find. Well, 3, or no, 6, as well as 9 terminals. I can see here, I got a whole bunch of electrical here. If I recall correctly, this, even though it's marked as electrical, we can't salvage this, I don't believe, because if you notice, I'm looking at it, it's not giving me a place to put it. That's because it doesn't belong in any particular place. I believe we will be able to see that, because normally something like this would go in the barge. I'm going to go ahead and amplify that. See, just bounced right off. Doesn't do a damn thing. I'm pretty sure throwing it in the processor won't work either, so I'm going to throw it in the furnace. See if I can at least get some scrap for it. Nope, I don't get anything for it. Considering what just happened to it, as it entered, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's literally nothing but a hazard. If you're not careful around it, it can explode, which kind of makes sense for a capacitor. Capacitors can be dangerous if you're not careful with them. See, I aimed that at the wrong section. See how this one isn't filled with a bunch of cubes? There we go. So it's the sections that still have their their three-dimensional cubes in them that you want to aim for, because if you don't, it's just going to bounce right off the bottom of the barge and then start ricocheting around, and you could run into problems, especially if it's something that could go kablooey. Although once it's in there, like once it's actually salvaged in there, you don't care what happens to it. Like, it could literally fucking just get incinerated by something, and you don't give a shit because you've already been paid for it. Because it'll already mark it as having been right there.
Salvage deposit accepted.
It'll literally mark it as having already been having been salvaged, so you don't care at that point. Basically, once it's in that barge, it's somebody else's problem, not yours. Even if you do something to make it your problem, it doesn't become your problem. Which, honestly, you should probably fix that, but, you know.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Oh god. Oh god. See, this is why you gotta be careful. See, this thing is gonna be zappy as hell now, and I gotta be real fucking delicate with it, because if I don't, it's gonna break.
Salvage secured.
But I got it.
Account credit applied.
The last thing I want to do right now is potentially destroy a computer terminal when I'm this close to getting the computer terminals goal. You can see I already got the electrical one because I only need 6 more, and I've done like 8 or something like that. Yeah, I think there are actually just enough.
Salvage secured. Credits
I'm
deposited.
not 100% certain on that. There you go, systems. That's 1, 2, 3. I see 4. Okay, I only need 3, and I see 4.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
And there's our computer
Salvage
terminal.
secured. Credits deposited.
There's our computer terminal objective. Okay, let's go ahead and tackle that storage. We only need 2 more. I know exactly where they are, too. They're all in here. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's any more anywhere else. So, yeah, we got a bunch of soft crates and a hard crate. We only need 2 of them, so just grab them. Just grab the 2 most easily accessible ones right now, and we can always grab the rest later if we feel like it. Got it.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Got it. Alright, now we're down to nanocarbon metal, which is not uncommon. On these geckos, it is not really that surprising when your nanocarbon and your metal are your last ones. I'm gonna need more tethers for this.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
Warning, tethers depleted.
Alright, we're gonna go grab ourselves some more tethers and some more fuel.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Let's see here. Tethers.
Thank you for your
Tethers restored.
About the path that is taking. Oh no, it's straight in now. It's doing better. Good, that's good. get jammed up in there.
Valuable object
Thank
processed.
you.
Credits awarded.
And there we go. That's our nanocarbon objective. Literally the only objective we have left is our metal one.
Valuable object processed.
Now, I have seen some instances of people occasionally being like, how the fuck do I salvage these fuel pipes? It's actually really easy. Just laser off the pipe junction, and you can take each section individually. And throw it in.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Just, be somewhat gentle with them because they are a little fragile. But last but not least,
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
bingo. The coolant pipe is a little trickier because there's big old sections of it that connect it to stuff. So in this particular case, I do like to break out my split saw and just, cut it right there. It does turn a little bit of it into scrap, but it's not that bad. At this end though, it's a little bit easier because you can go right back to this and just leave that section off. And then you have the whole ass pipe. And it's just a tiny little bit of scrap at the end.
Valuable object processed.
And a tiny little bit of scrap there. And that's it. That's all you got. That's all you need to do. Now, I have heard that supposedly this section right here, because it's a different kind of, it's a separate panel. That's just it's just a random floating object. For some reason, there's a bug where because it acts as both a wall and a pipe, it doesn't flush properly for some reason. We're going to test this theory by cutting it. Seems to be perfectly fine. Might be because I removed the pipe already too, but I've heard previously that it causes problems because it will explode. Let's just go ahead and cut some more of it. Yeah, seems to be perfectly fine. This does appear to be a panel of aluminum that goes in the processor though, so that is fascinating. Tricky doing this is when you've got to deal with interior walls. And generally speaking, you just got laser. And see, that one's already gone. So now this whole section comes free. Technically, parts of this were free because I separated them, but other parts weren't. So. Entire thing's taken care of. And all we gotta do is come in here, put down the the panels that surround they're part of the box that surrounds the reactor. Yeah, those things are
Project accepted for
aluminum that
program.
go in the processor.
Credits deposited.
They're one of the few aluminum things that do go in the processor. I didn't, up until just now, I didn't even know that the aluminum that made up the back panel to the ECU went in the processor. So, you know, I don't know if that's a new thing or if it's just something I didn't notice until now. And then there are 2 of these reactor plates, and if you can manage to safely retrieve the reactor and without doing too much damage, you can salvage both of them.
Secured.
And they're
Credits
pretty valuable,
deposited.
so they're definitely worth it. Okay. So we're gonna rip this guy out. I think he's one of the last few things of actual real value in this place. We do have a lot of chairs though, actually.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I want to try to demonstrate something here, but it could be difficult because we gotta get a whole bunch of things relatively stationary and in close proximity to one another. And that can be hard to do sometimes. That's what I wanted to demonstrate.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Literally just that when you've got the charged blast, when you've got the charged push upgrade, it kind of has a shotgun effect. So it's definitely very useful for
Salvage
cleaning up
secured.
after.
Credits deposited.
It's definitely very useful for cleaning up after a mishap, because it can just shove entire debris fields of scrap right into the furnace. So yeah, it's helpful.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, that's the chairs. Okay, we're gonna check objects. Oh, we got the table. Just goes into the fucking furnace, though, I think. Got some storage items. I think everything else is basically aluminum. Okay.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Stick this in there. Bingo.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Then. Oh, I think the last thing we might do is just go through and make sure we got all the door consoles and airlock consoles, because those will count towards our mechanical requirement. And they're also worth a pretty penny.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, so we're gonna start. Looks like we got all those ones. So we're gonna start here. Okay, this one wasn't actually a door, I don't think. So on the side, on the side. See, that one just ricocheted off. That's it there. some fucking reason, it just went right through the bottom of the barge. It does that sometimes, I don't know why. And your fucking grapple can't go through the bottom of the barge, so you gotta fucking go around the barge and grapple it. Stop. There we go, finally. Got it. I do hope at some point they include a feature that lets you, like, clear the barge so that you can just get a blank slate. Even if it's, like, something that, like, costs a fee. Like, just like you know, barge replacement fee or, you know, something. Not excessive, mind you. I don't want it to be like, you know, fucking 1,000,000 credits or anything. But, you know, several thousand, maybe like 150,000. Like, that seems reasonable because it's definitely one of those, you know, it's definitely very links. That's definitely for sure. Charging you for the convenience of clearing your pallet essentially, so that you don't smash the rest of your salvage seems like a very Lynx thing to do. So I imagine they'll probably wind up, if they do incorporate it, it'll wind up being a thing that it costs you credits. Keeps dodging on me. Got it. Got it. Okay, so I'm gonna give both the airlocks. Let's double check, because I don't think I got the one out of, yep, there we go. Got it. Okay. We're gonna go into our scanner and we're just gonna review. See how much we got. Looks like we got pretty much everything here. There's doors, but they're really hard to get out without destroying. In my opinion, they're not really worth the time. I could be wrong on that one. This thing right here. Computer terminal. You're probably super fucking confused by that. I was the first time I realized that was a computer terminal. I don't know why the fuck it's called a computer terminal. It ain't got no screens. It ain't got no nothing. It's not a computer terminal. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know why. But you can get it out. It's a pain in the ass to get out, but you can get it out. It involves using your split saw to, like, cut through it and cut away from it, and then just go chuck the tiny little piece you get in the barge. It's a pain in the ass. Really only do it if you've fucked up and need, like, one more computer terminal or one more electrical thing, and you don't have any others. Because guess what? The work order sheet will does recognize that as being one that will fulfill one of those requirements. Therefore, as long as it exists, you can't fail it. As long as you don't smash more than that. Basically, like, if there's 33 computer terminals and you need to collect 32, and you smash one, if there's like 33 terminals left and you need to collect all of those, and you smash one of them, it won't fail you because you still have this. If you smash one more, then it'll fail you on it because then there's not enough. But it can be really annoying to deal with. So, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and start dabbing the shit out of this thing. Because it is so big, we are not going to be able to just tether the whole thing into the furnace, so we're going to have to break it down into pieces in order to do that. And that. Let's do this. This is generally right about where I cut it. I believe both the two sections you end up with are small enough without being too large. Two separate pieces. It's within the like 13,000 kilogram range, which is fantastic. We got 12 tethers. Let's see if we can get it done with that. You're talking about the seams that I was just melting to separate the two sections of the ship. You can. It involves using the split saw though, and it's honestly a lot more tedious. I was explaining earlier in the stream that like you can do it the other way, but in my opinion, it's a lot more time consuming, and you wind up wasting more material in the end. Most likely, because chances are you're going to have to make multiple cuts in the same area, and every time you use the split saw, it burns up a little bit of the material that you're cutting. So you're still destroying material. If you can manage to do it with a single cut every time, like for every section, it's one cut.
Tether supplies are low.
Then yeah, it's probably more wasteful to do it the way I do it. But I can never do that because I'm inevitably always that just millimeters breadth off of the perfect cut, no matter how precisely I line it up. And that definitively makes it very rough. Makes it very rough to try and do it that way. So again, probably for like the 14th time I've said this, I am sorry if I don't see your guys' stuff in chat quickly enough. I just don't have a good setup to be able to simultaneously look at my chat and play the game at the same time. I just need to get another monitor and get that set up.
Warning, no tethers remaining.
But yeah, so that's why I'm slow to respond to chat, because I have to tab out of the game and just check my stream manager to see what's going on in chat. So hopefully it isn't bothering you guys that I'm not catching up on those chats quickly enough. I definitely apologize for that. I've definitely been at this a lot longer than I thought I would be, because this has been, yeah.
Raw material process.
90 minutes, I think, was roughly about 90 minutes, 80 to 90 minutes. Oh, yep, lag. There goes the lag. Oh, God. Yikes. Wow. It's so laggy when it does that. Why is that not moving faster? Really hope that starts kicking into high gear. be fair, I do expect it to take a little bit longer to move, especially with only 3 tethers. Just really hoping that I don't have to go back to the jack and buy a whole nother pack of tethers just to toss like 2 or 3 on it, just to get it those last couple of inches. Yeah, while that's doing. Oh yeah, I've heard that they're going to be adding a new type of ship soon, and it's I think it's going to be those guys, those ships there that we can see occasionally, the spindly-looking dudes. It's apparently called a javelin. The javelin. And it's going to be a new style of ship that appears. Oh, you know, that's a fantastic way to put it. Style. The Maverick is a style, the Gecko is a style, and then they've got rolls. Styles and rolls. Yeah, there we go. Tether's timed out. I'm gonna have to go get more tethers. Give me 1 second here.
Welcome to Vintatron 9000. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase.
Tethers restored.
Spam it. Bought them. Might as well use them. Ah, why is that happening? Bear with me 1 moment here. Someone's trying to call me right now, and that is uncool. Okay, looks like that's going in. There we go. Yep, and it's getting caught by the suction. It's going faster. Okay, get ready for lag, round number 2. Hopefully this time it doesn't actually crash the game, because the other one was a smaller bit, and it, oh no, don't do this to me. Oh no. Why? How am I gonna fix that? Yeah, because it's definitely well and truly stuck. Bear with me 1 moment here. This end back out somehow. That means I've got to overcome the mass and the suction of the fucking thing. can't believe I needed to wind up using that. That entire pack for that. What am I gonna do about that? Well, I think we might just have to call that, because I don't know that I can fix that, especially not without dying by getting sucked into the furnace. So we might have to call this. That sucks though. We still did pretty well. So let's go ahead and head back in, end our shift. 114 minutes, almost 2 hours. 13 million credits. Not bad. Not bad. So let's see here. The one thing I wanted to check here was the airlock consoles. Yes, 8 of them. For 8 of them, we got $360,000. That's quite a bit of money for just 8 of a thing. Panel nanocarbon. We got like almost 3 million for all the nanocarbon. Which, I mean, if you do the math, means that the individual unit price is, well, actually, that's just the panel nanocarbons. So once you add in this, it's over 3 million. It's, in point of fact, almost 4 million at that point. Let's see here. Atmospheric regulator, those are worth quite a bit. Computer terminal, we got over 1.2 million for all the computer terminals we turned in. Door consoles, they're worth quite a bit too. Not as much as the airlock consoles though, as you can see, because the airlock consoles, we actually had the same number of them. Actually makes me wonder if I went through everywhere properly, because there's the door at the cockpit, that's 1, 2. The door right next to it, 1, 2, so that's 4. The door between that and the main cabin, that's 6. Yeah, I didn't get all the door consoles, because then there's 2 between for the reactor room, and then there's 2 for the hatch into the crawl spaces. So that's a total of 10. So I should have had 10 of those, but I only got 8, so I missed 2 of them. I probably missed the 2 for the crawl space. I thought I grabbed one of those though, so that's weird. Fuel tanks, well terminals. Wow, 30,000 each. That's impressive. Class 2 thrusters. We got $1.35 million for 3 of them. Class 2 reactor plates. 2 of them. Ow, the Class 2 reactor plates are not very valuable. I thought they were worth a lot more than that. It's only $1,800 for 2 of them. We're looking at $900 each. Ooh, gross. That's gross. Power generator, 27,000. Sorry, 270,000. We salvaged 3 kilograms of coolant canister, which is tiny, but that's each one of those canisters from the ECU is 1 kilogram. That's $329.80. The 80 cents is important, man. 80 cents is important. Let's see here. Class 2 reactor, $3 million. That's a chunk of change right there. The ECU on its own was 240,000. Storage bins, decent chunk of money there for all 11 of them. 11 of them. Why did I not get 12? Oh, that's right. One of those columns is slightly shorter than the others, I think. Battery pack, personal terminal. I do not know why personal terminals are worth so much, but one of them is worth $60,000. I don't know why. I apparently managed to salvage some equipment mounts, mounted to $6,000. And here's what we destroyed. About 2,850 kilograms of nanocarbon. I do wish it would give you the value of the things you destroyed, rather than just simply saying destroyed. Like, it's clear that I'm not getting it because it's in red. But also, it would really fucking suck if you actually had to, if the value of what you destroyed was deducted from your credits earned. That would definitely make it very essential to not destroy things, and you definitely want to be like miserly with how you did shit. But yeah, so that's pretty good. So we did pretty well on that. And that is basically everything there. Obviously there's slight variations based on the role a particular style of ship has. Um, Especially with the salvage runner for the geckos, because the actual internal structure of that ship is slightly different, because it's got those like side bays on it, and it can be really hard to work with. And then the ghost ships add their own certain kinds of complications, and that makes things interesting. But oh wow, we got over 5,000 links tokens now. Damn, son. And we're still so flippin' far away from our goals here. I got so many work order objectives to complete. It's part of the reason why I had stopped playing on this, because I was not looking forward to just doing gecko after gecko after gecko after gecko just to fulfill all of these. So I was like, oh, I'll call this here for now until they add some more content. So anywho, that has been this stream for you all, so I will see you all next time. We'll be back tomorrow. If I recall correctly, tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? I can't remember. That's how bad I am at remembering things. I literally set it up yesterday and I don't remember. Oh right, we're doing Prey tomorrow. Okay, so we'll be back for some spooky, scary times tomorrow. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.